Hello, so coming back again, we are going to learn in this video how to add positive and negative numbers together. Come on, let's start doing with the counters and modeling. So can you model 0 using red and yellow counters? So as you know, yellow counters are the positive and red counters are the negative. So how do you do? Take a minute and think about it. So if I have two positives, how do I make it 0? And having two negatives would actually get it cancelled, isn't it? So you get one positive, one negative, which gets cancelled, one positive, one negative, which gets cancelled. Meaning both of them, if you give one chocolate and take back one chocolate, how many chocolates you have? 0. That's exactly is happening here. So how do you model? You can model in any way. For example, plus 2 and minus 2 is 0 in this case, right? So you can have any number for that matter. Like for example, 5 positives and how many negatives will give you 0? 5 negatives, isn't it? So you can have infinite ways to represent these numbers. So basically, plus 5 and minus 5 is 0. Now, model 1 using red and yellow counters. Pause here and try to do on your own. Okay, so now I hope you have very many different answers and this could be one of from mine. So I want model 1 using red and yellow. So 1 should be there and I have one more. So maybe if I want this yellow to be retained, I just add one red so that this red and yellow gets cancelled. So this is my basic representation of 1 and in numbers I can say this is 2 minus 1 which is 1. Yes, so you may have anything, but if you actually cancel it, you should get this yellow. That's the important thing. So now model using red and yellow counters the number 2. Think for a while by pausing here now. So you may be also getting something like this. Like for example, I have 2 yellows and I have just one more and I want to be retained 2. So I just have only one red. Why? Because I just need this to get cancelled. So 3 yellows minus 1 is 2. So 3 minus 1 is 2, right? So observe these models and the number representation. What are your observations of adding positive and negative integers together? Can you list them down before we have a look at it? Pause it here and list it down. Okay, as you can see from this activity, you can add a positive number and a negative number. And in all these cases, you get a answer as a bigger positive number. So how do you do is basically when you add this positive and a negative number, you are subtracting the smaller number from the bigger number. So for example, here you are actually subtracting smaller number from the bigger number and having the sign of the bigger number. So in all these cases, it is the positive value. And one more thing that you can observe here is whenever you want to model 1, you are actually introducing a negative number. So basically, you are putting negative 1 here so that you take away. The takeaway can also be understood as adding a negative integer. Both are a similar representation. So this is the math journal that you can write for subtracting or adding to positive and a negative integer. In this case, you subtract the absolute value of smaller number from bigger number and put the sign of the bigger number. Okay. So now comes another activity which will help you understand working with negative numbers. So model a 0 and minus 1 using red and yellow counters. Pause here and do it. So now you can understand that if you want to model a negative 1, how would you do it? So you basically negative 1 means you should have a red counter. So if you want to have only one red counter, you can add as many yellow and red counters of same number, isn't it? For example, you can have maybe 3 yellow and on the other side you should have 3 yellow or reds so that they all get cancelled. So basically in this case, you can write the number representation as minus 4 plus 3 is minus 1. You can also write like in the commutative property 3 plus minus 4 is minus 1, isn't it? You have 3 positive and you are adding 4 negative counters and you get minus 1. This is the negative counter you have. Can you do the similar thing for modeling minus 2 and modeling minus 10 using red and yellow counters? Pause here, do it and write the similar number representation. I'm going to do it for you now with my own example. So I want two negative integers. So I want two reds. Maybe I want to add 4 more reds. So on that case, I'll add 4 more yellows also. So how many, because they have to get cancelled, right? So how many red, so these gets cancelled out. So how many reds in total I had actually is 6. So minus 6. And then how many yellows I added? Plus 4 yellows I added and I get minus 2. So this is what I get, minus 2. So similarly, I can also do 4 plus minus 6 is also minus 2. Okay, come on, do it for minus 10 and observe how the numbers are getting added in this case. Is your previous observation of when you add two positive and negative numbers, subtract the absolute value of smaller number from the bigger number and put the sign of the bigger number works here as well. Take a minute, pause here and write it down your own example. I hope you have able to do your own example. Now let's try seeing if it really works. Let's take this example. Minus 6 plus 4 is minus 2. So minus 6 plus 4 is what? There are two different signs. So I subtract the smaller number 4 from bigger number 6. Absolute value. Absolute value of minus 6 is 6, right? So I subtract, the first step is I subtract 4 from 6. And that is 2. And what is the bigger number here? 6. And what is the sign of the bigger number? It is negative. So the answer that I should put is minus 2. Right? So I get minus 2. And this is exactly what we did using the counters. Isn't it? So to kind of summarize the addition of positive and negative integers, this is what we can write. And this is exactly we did it in the modeling. So when the signs of the integers are same, like for example, it can be 6 plus 4, add the numbers and maintain the sign. And if they both are different numbers, we'll see, but minus 6 and minus 4, negative numbers, add the numbers, absolute value, and then put the sign of this number, because both are negative, so you put negative. When the signs of the integers are different, subtract the absolute value from the bigger number, smaller number from bigger number, and write the sign of the bigger number. So this is exactly what we did with, for example, 6 minus 4, which can also be written as adding a negative number, 6 plus minus 4. So 6 minus 4 is 2, because the first step is subtraction and then the bigger number is 6 having a positive value, so this is also positive. And minus 6 minus 4. So minus 6 and then plus 4 or 4 minus 6. You can write both ways, right? Minus 6 plus 4 or 4 minus 6 or also 4 plus minus 6. Both, all the three are same. Minus 6 plus 4 or 4 minus 6 or 4 adding 6 negative integers, right? All these three are same. And in this case, your first step is subtract smaller from the bigger, which is 6 minus 4, which is 2. And the second step is put the sign of the bigger number, absolute value of the bigger number, so which is 6. And the sign is negative, so you put a negative. So I hope you all enjoyed doing this activity and understanding addition of positive and negative integers. Stay tuned to know how to subtract the positive and negative integers. Thank you.